Just give me a moment to enjoy this. I just had a necrosis surgery, so that's the first drink I've had since surgery. Jesus, that feels amazing. So, today's podcast is about Facebook failure. Episode 33 of the Such Bullshit podcast, where I myself, usually I'm here with somebody else, but not tonight, not this afternoon, rather. It's kind of odd that I'm doing this at 1 p.m. rather than at night, which is usually when I do it, so I figure why not? I'll do it in the middle of the day and not announce it. Don't care, I like to do shit unplanned because I usually get better results that way. But let's move on to my point here in my entire podcast. Sorry. So, there are plenty of problems that I personally have, and I think are an issue when it comes to Facebook itself. I feel like the platform, I mean, while it does accept streamers like me, it out of every other platform I've been on, the one major issue that I have with fucking Facebook, and it's not that, oh, well, you're a gamer and, you got usernames and handles, but, and Facebook uses real names and stuff. That's not the issue, believe it or not, although it is one of them, which I feel like, if you're another Facebook friend and you're going on somebody's stream, like, when you go to chat and multi-chat, it'll show up as your full name from Facebook display, so you're basically doxing yourself by typing anything at all in that person's stream, which I think is kind of fucked. I feel like you should be required to have a username for platform safety, essentially, but or anonymity at least. I mean, that's one thing or another. But my other concern would be this. This is my main one. The fucking content ID claiming system. I fucking hate this system. I do not care if Mark Zuckerberg thinks it's great. I think it's the shittiest system ever to be ever invented. It is fucking atrocious. Here's how that system works. You'll get a copyright claim, and now typically through YouTube, when you get a copyright claim or something, or maybe you put out a piece of music that somebody, some company just wants to claim and they don't want it on YouTube, but at least you'll know the company and the song and who created it, what it is. That's nice information to have. Facebook gives none of that. Facebook has no fucking chill. They give you none of that information. I have clips that I put from stream that have no audio. No audio at all getting claimed. As a test, I tested just streaming no audio clips. I let them sit, just blank silence, no noise, mic completely off, just like that. No sound whatsoever. And that gets claimed. So no audio can get the whole video muted, even though there's no audio at all. Then I checked up with the intro music that I use, which was created by Flashy Goodness back in like 2012, 2015, I believe, but it was never released. So I actually like the audio clip a lot, so I use it for my opening. I mean, I don't have written permission, but I'm pretty sure that it's not copyrighted by Flashy. It's not, well, I mean, they made it, and I mean, I don't think they would even have a problem with me having it, but I looked around, I didn't see like any kind of copyright mark or protection, this, that. It just seems like something that they created years ago and didn't want to use, and I thought was good, so I use it because I respect Flashy Goodness's work, and I'm not trying to sit here and steal it. Like, I full on respect the amount of work that Flashy Goodness has done for both Tower of Heaven, Undertale, among other music orchestrations and orchestra pieces that he's put together. I find I don't like to take music without consent if possible. I've tried to reach out to them before a long while back, see if it was okay, but I don't think they even minded. They're like, it's cool. I think the one email I sent years ago was like, thank you for supporting my music by putting it on and combining it with this. Like, they were actually glad that I combined that music that I use in the Tower of Heaven music, I put it at the end of the top 100 and top 300 meme videos. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard it. With the little 4 links at the end. I put some of Flashy Goodness's music at the end of that from Tower of Heaven. And Flashy had specified that it was actually nice that I did that. I told Flashy themselves, I'm like, look, I was actually inspired by your game to create that video, so thank you. And they were happy. So since then, I've always been happy with using that song. Or not at least that song, or one of their older works that they didn't care for, that's just like a short 1-minute loop. I could not find that song linked to anything, not an album, not a game, not a soundtrack, nothing. Not even like it's not even on fucking SoundCloud or Bandcamp. This song just does not exist. It's gone. It's just only on Flashy Goodness's website. And again, I'm getting off topic here because this is a Facebook failure video. But the point I'm trying to make is my opening is getting claimed, I believe. But when I go to look up to see if it's Flashy or like what the username is claiming it or whatever, or legal information to see what is even being claimed, what is it defined as, what is it? I'm only being told what countries they're blocking it in. And if I hit appeal, well, then they just let me see that they let the whole video up. So there's not even like a legal document of like say, hey, you agree to, if you're lying, this is perjury. At least YouTube does that. So when you file a counterclaim, if it's falsified, it's perjury. So, like, why does Facebook not do that? And that's just one major fucking gripe that I have with Facebook. So if you're a multi-streamer like me, my issue is that I now have to worry that certain audio tracks, for no reason, may not even have a valid claimant, are just getting claimed on Facebook. So, again, that's 2 gripes, not just one. So, like, the username and the whole content ID claim system, I find it to be completely fucking atrocious and stupid and needs to be corrected and fixed. You need to require showing the claimant ID, the claimant's information. Why is it that a content creator cannot upload and see part of their shit muted without any consent whatsoever? I don't know what Mark Zuckerberg's doing. I feel like the guy is kind of a brain dead idiot at times because, I mean, this whole new debate that came up with the Hunter Biden laptop, where Mark Zuckerberg had all of Facebook team basically muting any talk of the Hunter Biden laptop. In fact, some posts were apparently quote unquote reported by other quote unquote users. And I say quote unquote, I mean Facebook just removed it and claimed that a user had reported it and deleted it as a response. So Facebook went around pretending to be users. So a Facebook staff member could just be a regular member or regular person, and they'll go around searching Hunter Biden laptop. They'll right-click report on that post, and then they'll get on their actual Facebook moderator account, and then they just go down the line and it's gone. Like they just fucking ghost the shit out of that entire topic. And they went hush hush about that. Same thing when it came to certain, like, even the election polls for the Biden-Trump election back in the day, when that was going on. Does everybody remember how we saw shit from even like YouTube, like, oh, fake news posts, Twitter, fake news posts. Oh, don't listen to fake news on the POTS. Yeah, it's like POTUS. It's like, what the fuck? Why are you fucking putting this shit? I feel like social media should have nothing to absolutely do. Social media platforms themselves should have nothing to do with controlling an election, should have no part whatsoever, but unfortunately, some politicians will fucking bribe off these social media platforms to say, hey, look, we don't want this guy winning, so we're gonna pay you to hush this other guy, so that way we can win. I feel like if that's found out, I feel like a social media platform should legally be demanded to come forward to Congress and then immediately be held against them. Or at the very least, hold the fucking social media platform accountable to federal law, not state or civil, federal, because at that point you're fucking with the entire United States because you're, in the middle of fucking with an election. I mean, that's kind of, substantial. It's kind of mind-boggling why the fuck something like Twitter or any platform would get in the middle of an election and have a side. Now, I understand that you as an individual could have a political belief or be a Republican or a Democrat. You could do whatever the fuck you want. You can be left or right politically. It doesn't matter. It is your choice. But I get that the platform owners can have a choice. But to push it into your platform that you run is... It's like if you went to your workplace and you wore like a Trump MAGA hat and you told your workplace, guys, you told them, guys, listen, vote for Trump. Vote for Trump. Vote for Trump, guys. You gotta do it. You gotta vote for Trump. It's... You see where I'm getting at with that? It's so fucking unrealistic and so awkwardly weird that it should be held accountable. I mean, most jobs say that don't bring your political beliefs, your religious beliefs, or any of that shit into work. Typically, they don't want you to bring in politics at work or any workplace for that matter because it causes controversy. And I don't think the social media platform should have a side. Now, that isn't to say that the people that use certain platforms aren't typically one side or the other. So, for the most part, Twitter is kind of right. And if I'm not mistaken, Facebook is semi-left. Looking at both over time, you start to actually look around. And I may not have gotten the exact picture right or the exact demographics, so don't hold me accountable to that. But it does look bullshit. I mean, the communities can join either one, it doesn't matter, but it's when the owners of these platforms start pushing it into actual people's faces and shit that it goes like, what the fuck are you doing that's beneficial to your business? Why is Facebook going around censoring certain posts? Now, another issue that I have with Facebook would be their reporting system. It acts sort of like Twitter's, in almost the same fucking way. I personally don't like the Twitter reporting system. Yeah, I don't like YouTube's either. YouTube is even more shitty than both of them in terms of a reporting system, but it's very categorized and legal and official, and most of the time it doesn't need to be. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but they categorize every user on YouTube as the official big boy. You're sitting on you're basically your own fucking TV network whenever you have a YouTube channel. That's how they treat you. They treat every individual user at that extent of level of law right at the get-go, right out of the gates, and it's very awkward. But other platforms, not so much. You're free to do whatever the hell you want. But Facebook, in particular, their reporting system being the same as Twitter, I always felt was very weird. The way that system works is you send in a report and then you get told back yes or no by some random ass person that you A, don't know, B, do not talk to, C, may not even have looked at it and just said, alright, here's the button. Alright, that's my decision. Get the fuck out. I feel like that's fucking stupid that you don't get to talk to somebody. I feel like back in the day, back in 2010, when you used to be able to call up YouTube rep line or a phone line and be like, hey, look, this is the issue I'm having with copyright. This person's claiming this. And then you'd actually speak to a rep. As a partner, you're able to get a hold of a rep. As a non-partner, you can't go to hold of jack shit. So if you are not a YouTube partner and making money and revenue through ad sharing, Google sharing, Google ads, you aren't getting any help. No help. None. Absolutely fucking none. And it feels just as atrocious on Facebook and, Twitter. Now, I understand that Facebook was originally not a streaming platform by any fucking means, right? However, over the years, every platform decided they needed to be a streaming platform. I don't know why, they just decided, hey, we are one. Think of it like this. Think of early 2010. No, maybe even before, like 2006. Let's say this is 2005 to 2010. Skype was in the middle of being introduced. People use Yahoo Instant Messenger or TeamSpeak. Well, I don't even think TeamSpeak was out yet. They use Ventrilo and shit like that, which is one of the older, maybe even IRC, and that's very old. That's for somebody that's my age would know that shit. People are using those things. There's no streaming on any of that shit. Yahoo Instant Messenger or Yime or what they called it back then. They had video calling. That was about it. Maybe video calling. They didn't have screen share, which was streaming essentially back then. Skype, halfway through its lifetime during the Forever Log days, eventually added screen share. And it was very, very late, because originally they were just a video conference system for, like, businesses. Small businesses that would, like, have online meetings across boards and across areas and shipping depots and stuff like that. That's what Skype was originally made for. It was never originally made to share your entire fucking screen for no reason, because you didn't need to do that. So eventually, in their updates, they added API to be able to view your desktop so that you could see your screens and your stuff like that. And so I'd be able to look at what the hell's on the screen right now, and you could see all the shit that you'd ever want. Now, why did they need to become a streaming platform? It's a fucking instant messenger thing, right? So eventually, every other platform, so Justin TV came around. That was one of the very few first streaming sites. There was another few out there at the time, but they were very minor. And then they became Twitch, and then YouTube's like, oh, we need to become YouTube Gaming, and we gotta allow streaming. So now YouTube took up the whole streaming scene, and then Facebook followed suit. What's next? Is Twitter gonna follow suit? Is there gonna be Twitter streaming next? I'm fucking calling it now. That I swear to God, if Elon Musk buys fucking Twitter, I can tell you right now, we are gonna be looking at fucking Twitter lives. It's gonna be stupid. And then the next thing you're gonna know, there's gonna be TikTok live streaming. It's just like, when's it gonna fucking end? When is the streaming shit for this gonna end? Period. This is like the equivalent of the South Park streaming wars, basically. This is where we're at in our current state of the internet. It is fucking stupid. That's why I just think that YouTube's a huge failure. Not YouTube. I'm sorry. I think Facebook is a huge failure. And I would never normally attack a platform directly. This is not me attacking it. This is me mocking how silly not only the development of the internet over the years, but the development of bullshit that has taken place on Facebook right now. And even beforehand, like, just please. And this is the only thing I ask, Facebook, please. And I'm just saying this as a fucking meme lord, as a streamer, and as anything else that you want to define me as. I find it bullshit under the Such Bullshit podcast that I represent that copyright claims on your system automatically mute videos regardless, or even censor them in full, and do not show the claimant's information. Anybody could just go around making bullshit claims on your system. That's basically what it's come to. At least give us the claimant's information so that way we can actually dispute it together, instead of it just being a one-sided party. It's very disturbing that the platform is like that, and that is my biggest gripe that I find bullshit with Facebook. That is why Facebook is a humongous pile of shit, and why you should not be streaming on it or uploading things on it right now until they get that shit together. Unfortunately, I'm going to be stuck streaming on this fucking platform until they fix it. I don't really know. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. And that's all I have to say. That is my whole podcast. I did it. Whole podcast. I did it. I've done it. Facebook shit. There we go. All right, I aired it out. It's on the news. It's on the podcast. It's on the show. I don't have to do a goddamn fucking thing. I love it. I don't have to do anything anymore. It's great. I don't have to do a thing. I don't have to do anything.